Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host that likes to come to you in this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have? Well, market's down again, 131 lower on the S&P. Dow's down to 1273. NASDAQ's down 357. Russell's down 71. Crude down $1. And, of course, what do we have? Well, markets are down. We've got the president making an announcement tonight. My guess is that will be some kind of big stimulus plan. Those details have not started to leak into the market. What I can tell you, though, is this is options delta neutral day. And why we went down a little bit further, there's some signals that you only get in a long period of time. For options data, that for me anyway, that starts in the early 90s. But I got a kind of a signal today that you don't get, but like 5 times in 25 years. And that is I'm going to have to give it a name, but I'm going to call it the ultimate bearish sentiment that the market has. And pretty much every time, in fact, every time that I could find, that was the low for about a month. Didn't mean that you went up forever, but did mean that at least for options, kind of the equivalent of the tick market, we had that from about, I'm going to call it about 11:30 to 12:45 or so. And that is you couldn't get anybody to buy a call. People were all buying puts, and that's all they were doing. And to the level that they were doing it, you've only seen those kind of levels in 5 years. So we'll see how the day ends up. My question is whether or not that comes in. Of course, today is options delta neutral day. So if they're pushing this down today, then we're probably going to at least get a little bit of a pop tomorrow. My guess is that whatever the statement is from the president tonight will be at least a little salve, little ointment on the owie that is this market. But we shall see. We'll have to see how the day actually comes in. But look fairly bullish this morning. We still have options that are actually looking fairly bullish. I'm just wondering what is going to take to turn this market around. But if you're talking about oversold conditions, we're at least for options, tell us that we're in that period of the highest oversold conditions in 5 days of 25 years. So be careful. Doesn't mean that we can't go lower, but every other time we've had this, we didn't see a lower low for a month. Even in, after 9/11, that kind of stuff, you bounced for a while because you were just way, way, way too bearish in the market. But we'll continue to take a look and see how this goes. But probably not a good time. Okay, let's see here. Got a few things to clean up here. There we go. What am I doing? Oh, let's do a little history, and then we'll get on to the rest of the show.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1888, the worst blizzard in American history strikes the Northeast, killing more than 400 people and dumping as much as 55 inches of snow in some areas. New York City ground to a near halt in the face of massive snow drifts and powerful winds from the storm. Despite drifts that reached the second story of some buildings, many city residents trudged out into New York's elevated trains to go to work, only to find many of them blocked by snow drifts and unable to move. And, of course, no global warming to blame it on back in 1988. Okay, so let's go ahead and start looking at some charts. Probably the biggest chart that I was looking at today certainly is Boeing. And the big thing on this one is going back where it has finally closed this gap that is going back to July 26 of 2017. This gapped up with 14 million shares. You're back into that gap with 18 million shares already. The question would be, are you going to close below it? If you do, well, we have to go back even further. Can I make my chart full-sized? Okay. There isn't a very, what do we have here? There isn't a very good low in Boeing. Going back, let's go back a little further. Back to really 135.85, 135.85, and if you want to go to the ultimate, $92.96. That was February 11th, 2016. So it's a real do or die for Boeing out here. Any close back around and above 205 in the next day or so would be a fairly good indication that that's probably trying to make some kind of low. And at the same time, you're probably going to have to consolidate for a while. But if you're a Buffett-style trader, that's we've been talking about this. This is where he would probably be piling in the market. Okay, let's see what else do we have going on out here. Okay. Well, let's see. Okay, let's see something else. Okay. Apple has been holding the 275 area, which to me is kind of the line of resistance right now. What are we trading at there? 274.87. That looks to me kind of where Apple has been jumping in to buy and supporting their stock, about that 275 level. Not a lot of volume down today in comparison. Yesterday, 71 million shares. Today, only about 38 million shares. But it looks like there may be some kind of trend line developing to the upside. See, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. And, of course, you can always put a message in the den or email me at path@tfnn.com. Okay. So what do we have? I wanted to look at a few other things. Let's take a look at the SMHs when we return after this short interruption.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we're back. And we'll look at a few other stocks here today. And SMH is kind of interesting because we are retesting the 120.48 low. That was the March 9th low. That had 7 million shares. You got 4.7 million shares so far today. So that is that. Okay. And what else do we have here? We were talking about Pan W the other day. I wanted to take a look at this one and see how it was doing. It had more volume at this low. It's not really doing much today, though. Down a fairly light volume of 1 million shares compared to the 3.4 million shares on the 9th. So we have that. Question here. What is that? Okay. Okay. There's some stuff I wanted to look at. Take a look at BZH. Beezer Homes coming back, not quite there, but 60 cents below. May 30th, $8.89 of last year, 653,000 shares. 950 is the low today, so you could see those housing stocks come back in there. Of course, it's all about the bonds that are in there today, so we shall see. Okay. And see what else. Okay. And someone asked about Boeing. Yeah, I would wait for a close above at least 200. You're trading 196.30. But if you were looking for some kind of long time, maybe kind of, I think you got a lot of time. So maybe you just kind of slowly move in there, but it's got to close back above 200. And my guess is it will have probably some leaks about some stimulus plan tonight before the end of the day. And the stocks at least bounce a little bit. That'll get you back into that $200 price tag on Boeing, and that would be the first signal to see you had it. Of course, question about VNQ. VNQ, we talked about this one many times as it was around the highs, as this would be a kind of the canary in the coal mine that we were going to have problems. Interestingly, today you are busting through the February 28th low that had 22 million shares with about 8 million shares so far today. So even on the 9th, you had 14 million shares. So we'll see how this comes out, but you are breaking below that low with lighter volume at the moment. And again, bond markets are noticed for going rather nutty when they're this stressed. Caterpillar, it has come back to its big gap up. That was July 25th of 2017. It went up on about 14 million shares. We are back to that level now. You pierced it or hit it with about 8.6 million shares 2 days ago. Yesterday, 8.3 million shares. Today, you're filling it with about 3.7 million shares today. So there may be at least a shovel of sand under the keel of Caterpillar at these levels, but again, it needs to close and pretty much where it's at right now, or maybe even a little bit higher. But two spikes and light volume today show that Caterpillar may have found at least a temporary bottom. See what else we want to look in here. Okay. Okay, we're off 144 on the S&P, 1377 on the Dow, Nasdaq down 407, Russell down 73, crude oil down 1. And any comments about the dollar? Let's take a quick look at that as we go around. 96.50, so holding in just fine on that. Also a question about anything going on in earnings that really matters, and not really. We're into that period now where it's all about small stocks. Wheat and precious metals after the bell tonight, but that's about it. If we get into tomorrow, we've got Dollar General, but again, I don't think any of these are going to move the markets by themselves. But this is one of the stocks that's actually holding up, which might be interesting to take a look at in the morning. You're down a little bit today on about 2 million shares. Disappoint, 147-ish. Looks like that would be where that's going. We get into Friday. Oh, let me get into yesterday. Okay, let me get this back. Thursday after the bell. And on Thursday night, ULTA, that could be a little bit. That's the bigger one behind it. Ulta Salon and Cosmetics, right at support. Volume's pretty good compared to the previous low, but the previous low on December 24th, a little bit more volume as we see these lows come in. But for the previous, not bad, 2.2 million shares back on November 25th. You also have that. Adobe, also after the bell on Thursday night. You came down, you found support at this gap higher, which is the December 13th, 2019 pop, 6.6 million shares. You came into it with 5.3 million shares, bounced on 6 million shares, down today on 2.7 million shares. We also have Work, which is Slack, which is a buyout candidate. But again, kind of tough to get everybody to buy something on a day like this. But kind of tough. And, of course, after that, we've got Avago, AVGO. And now you're kind of down with about the same volume as you were on the May 28th, 2019 low. That was 243. You got to 243.40, so 40 cents above it. You got about 2 million shares today as you go into that May 28th low. Okay. Okay. And what else? We got GPS. So there are a few out here, but these are the stragglers. Well, this has just continued to go down. I don't see anything that says in this 1101 for the gap. And it doesn't look like there's anything that's going to change that going into earnings. But we shall see. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. And, we're down 145. Well, it's 230. We were going to probably get a bounce off of the president's announcement. Probably would have seen something by now, but maybe we'll give it another 30 minutes. But that would be very interesting if you couldn't get any kind of results off the lows. And again, we're at probably some of the most bearish sentiment levels that one could ever have in the market. What else you say? Okay, got a question about Intel INTC. Well, they're holding their gap right here. This gap goes back to October 25th. That was up on 59 million shares. You got basically that 56 million shares on the first push down. Today, just 21 million shares. So you're probably finding at least some level of support in Intel. Intel probably crying because they caught all the problem with insecure processors. AMD actually has the exact same problem. But, of course, media is not really into beating on AMD like they are Intel. But certainly you got the gap down on that on the 9th, but that was mostly the market. But if you're worried about somebody having access to your machine and being able to hack it, the same kind of viruses, or not viruses, but attacks that were available on the Intel that got so much press 2 years ago that no one has ever been hacked with, AMD has the exact same problems. But fairly light volume out here so far today, so we shall see. What else do I want to look at? I haven't looked at Cree for a while. Let's take a look at this. Of course, maker of high-energy LED bulbs for flashlights and other things, landing lights. October 11th, $33.72. You've only gotten down to $35.66 yet, but you can certainly see that kind of level out here. Okay. What else do I have? Well, okay. You've got a lot of stocks out here that are, again, putting in some low tests. Let's take a look at Cisco. I haven't looked at that one for a while on the air. You really blew through the December 24th low at 38.86. They had 24 million shares, and you blew through that with 80 million shares. So there's not a whole lot out here to say on Cisco. There is a nice gap that goes back on Cisco to November 16th, 2017. And the top of that gap comes in at about 33.57. So that was a huge gap up on 61 million shares. I think that was an earnings date. But again, probably looking, if you were looking for some kind of long-term low in Cisco, it may turn right here, but that is kind of that $33 level is the long-term buy signal on it. Okay. Okay. So what else do we have? As we go through these, see something else. Okay. I'm just looking for some other stuff here. See if there's anything in here. Question about the TLT. Let's take a quick look at that. We were wondering whether or not you get that blow off top confirmation, and you certainly doesn't look good if you were looking for higher. But again, you're kind of down on lighter volume. You need 162, 161.50 to finish this gap and literally close it out. And, of course, it is 3 gaps. So if this does fail, what you're looking for is this thing to come back and fill the gaps. And that would be back about 152. But, generally these kind of huge spikes do kind of dissolve fairly quickly. What else did I want to look at? Got a lot of stuff out here. Dunkin' Donuts. Haven't done it. No, you haven't quite tested the low of $60.45. And, you got high volume, so you probably want 63.09. I'm just wondering how many of these places that are drive-through people will make a distinction between it and actually going in where somebody like me could sneeze on them. But didn't know. That's dog. Okay. See what else we have in here in my list of stuff. Okay. Let's take a look at GoDaddy. I haven't looked at that one for a while. Actually, not too bad. It's got a big gap that is acting as support with 4 million shares back on February 23rd, 2018. And as you look at that, you came into it with 3.27 million shares on November 20th. Tried again, but couldn't make it on October 10th. Now you're in here with 2.3 million shares so far. Today, only about 900,000. So kind of running out of gas on a lot of these. Maybe you jump the creek, maybe you don't. But keep an eye on it. And see, what else do we have here? A question about SAIL, S-I-A-L. Okay. Okay, question. Okay, let's do SAIL, and then I'll answer that question. Yeah, I see what you're looking at. You had a 1 million share spike into the October 8th low. That had 1.7 million shares. It's 1771, but you didn't quite get there. But not a bad-looking pattern other than this pulled down today on lighter volume. But back at 21, kind of a good pattern. This one's been around. This is a computer security software company, but it would have to be back into the 21 area to set it up. Now, earlier in the show, I said options have shown a 1 hour period, kind of bearishness only seen a few times in 25 years. That's literally when you couldn't sell a call if you wanted to. And that was right around lunch, which generally is the peak of the kind of bearishness. Now, it doesn't always happen in 5 minutes, but a lot of times by the end of the day, you see that kind of turnaround. And so far, we haven't seen the confirmation in that yet today. Off 145 in the S&P, Dow's down almost 1,400 points, 410 down in the NASDAQ.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com. educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And, well, it doesn't get any bearisher than this, if bearisher is a word. 132 lower on the S&P cash, right at 2750. And, of course, lots of juice in this market. We're a little over 9 billion shares, 9.3 billion shares as we start this segment. We'll look at a few more stocks in the market. Question about, got a lot of emails today. Question about General Motors. You're back to 2253, which is the February 11th, 2016 low, 25 million shares. You got 28 million shares. You're still a couple bucks above it. So you're kind of in the part. This is one of these companies where it's going to be kind of a long time slog to turn things around. They're not like semis where in a month you can turn it on and make 100 million phones. Lead times, financing, all the other stuff probably mean that a lot, sectors like this that are going to continue to have weakness for at least a few quarters. Update on Boeing. Still kind of stuck there. I don't see anything in the way of a bounce just yet. Okay. HLF. Man, this thing was in the news for many years. The question was whether or not it was a fraud or not by being a multi-level marketing company. But remember how they fought over this thing at $80 and $40? Finally, they shook hands and went to each side of the ring. But $29. You got 2381 back to September 2nd, 2016, and you also have February 12th, 2016 at $4.81. Excuse me, $21.13 at 4.8 million shares. Excuse me. So you got about another $6 in that now that it's in. And 21 to 23. I just never understood the company. I always believed that it would have a horrible day one day and never recover. Multi-level marketing companies, all you have to do is be able to work a spreadsheet, and you know eventually what happens to all of them. Intuitive Surgical, down fairly hard. Maybe about... Okay. Apparently, they're all deciding to corner the toilet paper market in Manhattan. But I'll have to call my nephew and find out. Okay, Intuitive Surgical. I mean, you don't have. We'll see what comes in at the end of the day. He had 1.15 million shares at 501 on the 9th. Today you got 565,000 shares. So I mean, there are a lot of these stocks with not a lot of volume that are really doing everything they can to run everyone out at the lows. Let's see, is there something else I wanted to look at? Hadn't looked at this one for a while. This is Enlight. We talked about it when it came out as an IPO. It is a LED laser light company. Hasn't done a lot so far, but I always thought that it would do well. You've got let's call it a 750,000 share low back on November 5th of 2019. You've gone through that with 88,000 shares right now. So I'll have to spend some more time on that one. To Lope, which is Grand Canyon Education. This one's making a low. Matching the November 7th, 2019 low at $96.48 with 2.3 million shares. Coming into that today with 428,000 shares. So let's see, what else do we have out here? MPW, Medical Properties. This one is breaking through the previous 11 million share low on February 28th. That was $20.09. You got half that volume today with about 5.3 million shares. So we are starting to run out of gas on some of these, but they're still lower than what we had before. OLED, of course, the company that makes, or I would guess more properly licenses, the ability to make OLED displays for Apple. Their big claim to fame. Back on the 28th, they had 1.5 million shares. Tested it with 800,000 shares a couple of days ago. You're just kind of going sideways out here. And I guess if Apple starts making phones again, they will do better, faster than a lot of other stocks. Pacific Ethanol, hadn't looked at this one forever. I was wondering what happened to it with dumping gas, which is, gasoline's, 40 cents cheaper a gallon than ethanol. So it actually drives the price up. A lot of discussion about Iowa not being a first state in the elections going forward. I think didn't they drop it? Or they said they were going to. Maybe they haven't yet. That may be the end of Pacific Ethanol. If they can't say who's going to be president, they may not be able to get anything going on in this. But I think this thing's got a record of like split after split after split. But if you think ethanol is the wave of the future, well, I guess the next step down is free for Pacific Ethanol. I knew that they'd been taking off a lot of the subsidies over the years, and it started in 2018, but I haven't kept up with it at all on that. Okay. Let's go back here. Fed boosting money to $175 billion for its repo lending rates. So apparently there's money for all, but see if that actually did anything for the markets. Nah, that may even be a counter thing at this point. People still need it. Apple's holding that 275.95, which is what I've been watching today. TLT up 40 cents, way off that 167 high earlier in the day, although that's been enough to do some shock and awe in the system. And the question about DOCU, DOCU. Of course, couldn't be any better to stay at home than sign stuff where you could get AIDS and Ebola and the Cordoba virus. That was started by a guy that was on what was that island? Fantasy Island, the Cordoba virus. You got about the same volume down here today, too. February 27th, you had 76.8, tongue-in-cheek, for those people that didn't get it. 3 million shares on that February 27th low, 76.18. And you've got a little more than, 1.5 today. You need to close back above 76.18. Deplane! Deplane!
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're looking at NVIDIA for John, 28 million shares on February 28th. That was 241.79. Got into it with 15 million shares, bounced yesterday, pulling back today with 8.4 million shares. So actually does not look bad. You don't have a real signal out here right now, but if it started moving back up, you could see some lows in that. Question is whether or not the rest of the market is going to cooperate, which is probably a bigger factor at the moment in most of these. What else do we have? Question about Western Digital, WDC. Never thought a whole lot about this company. Just eventually thought that it was going to be on the ash heap, as many other digital or hard drive companies have been. Of course, everything is turning digital instead of spinning hard drives. They still make a lot of money on spinning hard drives, but that's slowly going away. There's some technology that should eventually supplant that, even for the high spinning drives. But you're through, what do you got today? 5.2 million shares, through the 4.4 million shares of December 3rd. So you've got a break with volume of that previous low. And as I said, the long-term future of this one, I don't see how they make it. They basically buy all their memory from the old Toshiba company that's now a revamped Toshiba company. But, you're basically hard drive companies are now memory companies. So I don't see a great deal of future in that one and haven't for a couple of years. But a lot of times these companies take forever to give up the ghost. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We will see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.